interested in learning about improving listening, then there's a good chance you've had some negative experience of not being listened to or been impacted by not being able to listen to others. Listening has gotten a bad reputation as boring and passive. Listening is something that you're doing right now as you hear me speak these words, but beyond how well we hear sounds and words, I want to reframe listening as a skill. Do you ever equate listening with just agreeing? Do you ever multitask when you're listening? Do you ever consider listening as really just waiting for your turn to speak? Is it possible to stay present and engaged as you listen? My name is Daniel Mandel, and as a life and creativity coach and host of the Creative Engagement podcast, I can tell you that my ability to listen and my attitudes about listening have changed dramatically since I started. To date, I've interviewed over 75 artists and creatives, and I'm here to share what I've learned. My intention for this video is to address the myths about listening and increase our awareness of listening as an important skill worth developing. In this video, we'll explore how better listening can improve and deepen your relationships and leave you with more satisfaction. Listening provides you with a meaningful way to connect to yourself and others. I understand that listening isn't the most sexy topic. That is, until you understand that your skill at listening is correlated to that felt sense of intimacy, that experience of feeling truly seen and heard. And that can be very sexy with the right person. Listening benefits so many areas of our lives: personal relationships, work and career, leadership, personal growth, and even our ability to problem solve. Listening allows for increased creativity. The challenge here is to take an honest and, in some cases, an uncomfortable look at our own willingness and ability to listen. If you want to understand how well you listen, let's ask ourselves some important questions. What did your family or upbringing teach you about listening? Was active listening a skill that was modeled by anyone in your life? Who's easy to listen to in your life? And who's difficult? How do your judgments and assumptions impact your ability to listen? Who gets your undivided attention? Who gets interrupted? Who is important? I want to encourage your engagement, so be sure to share your experiences or tips or even questions for better listening in the comments section down below. Please be sure to subscribe to the Creative Engagement YouTube channel and like this video. When we shift to start thinking of listening as a skill that can be refined and improved, listening teaches us about patience and impulsiveness, adaptability and compassion. Beyond our day-to-day functioning and overall survival, listening helps us understand our place in the world. It helps us read the room and understand what others are thinking and feeling and what they need. Listening bridges the gap between ourselves and others. It's the basis for cooperation and satisfying relationships. Now, let's review some listening myths. And as I describe these, see if you believe any of them. Saying, "I don't know," makes me look bad. Good conversations are never uncomfortable. Slowing down a conversation means you can't keep up. Silence is an uncomfortable problem. Hearing is the same as listening. Interrupting is okay when you have an important point. Listening is a natural, automatic skill, and you shouldn't have to practice or develop listening. Did you notice that you believe any of these myths? What blocks our ability to listen? There's a Zen Buddhist parable of the overflowing teacup. It's a story about the importance of being open-minded and humble when we learn new things. The point is, if your mind is already full, if your mind is already made up, or you feel you know everything you need to know, how open or receptive are you to take in new ideas? Another block to listening is being too distracted. Are you emotionally crowded such that there's no room for curiosity? Usually, fear of the unknown and avoiding discomfort contribute to not being able to listen. So let's talk about improving listening skills. Starting with giving your attention. Be present with the speaker and stay engaged and curious. And if that's not possible, be honest. Refresh your presence. Refresh your encouragement and your curiosity throughout the conversation. Maintaining eye contact shows that you're engaged through your eyes. Avoid interrupting. This is a big one and difficult in our modern busy world. Let the speaker finish their thoughts before you respond. This can be so difficult when you're focused on your response. But with practice, you can turn your impulses to speak into awareness of curiosity, and you can choose the best way to move forward. Initially, just the intention to be patient and allow the speaker to fully express themselves can start to shift this in the right direction. Ask clarifying questions. This demonstrates that you're listening and helps you understand the speaker even better. Curiosity can be your superpower. Imagine that you can help someone tell their story better by asking key questions. Questions that are formatted like, "Do I understand what you said in this way?" can be very helpful. Reflect back. Summarize what you've heard to ensure that you've understood correctly. You can be like a mirror to the other person, and in the process, honor each person's unique mind. A good way to reflect your understanding is to use language similar to a phrase like, "When you said that, the example that lands for me is this. Is that an accurate way to think of this?" Of course, be sure to use your own words and be authentic. Be empathetic. Investigate how this person is unique. Try to understand the speaker's perspectives and feelings. Allow for surprises and a different emphasis from your own. It's possible that the folks that you're talking to were not taught good listening skills. That's why we need to model good listening skills. It can be so frustrating when we encounter other people who haven't yet experienced good listening practices. Consider that the more we practice these skills, the more the people around us will get the benefit of being listened to, and that will open up trust. You know, we listen with more than our ears. Our eyes bring in visual information and body language. Our mind brings in experiences and personal preferences, memories, cultural context, and even meaning itself. Now, I understand that I've just shared a lot of information with you, and I'm grateful to you for your listening. If we want to create a world with deeper connection and more meaningful conversations, where we all feel seen and heard, It makes sense to increase our listening skills and start experiencing this better world one conversation at a time. So for this topic especially, thank you so much for listening. Check out my Creative Engagement podcast, where I interview artists and creatives, and we discuss what creativity means to our lives. Let me know if you think I've done a decent job of listening to my guests. If you'd like to learn more about your listening patterns and how to increase your listening skills, go to danielrmandel.com/engage with me, or send a message to coach@danielrmandel.com. Please do like this video and subscribe to the Creative Engagement YouTube channel so that you'll be alerted when new videos arrive. Thank you so much for watching and for listening.